Research is something said that creating new thing that contains the novelty and a systematic study. But approaches from the sociology of law, if we talk about the active part, to what we think about the research. Research means enhancement of the knowledge, systematic design, and proof of hypothesis as research question. Because many people think that the proof of hypothesis is not an essential part of the research, but while conducting the research, we find that we formulate a hypothesis that circumference or limit the dimension. Suppose I am conducting a research on the topic communal violence. Here the communal violence means violence based on the religion, lingual or regional. But if we prefer a topic that we say that it will give the, so on this way we come to the point that research is systematic study for the enhancement. By this way, we give certain gift to the society. By research, we give a first hand gift by the research scholar, coordination with the supervisor to give a society. And what will be the quality of the gift that will be determined by the work that is done by the researcher. So here we come to why we are talking about the ethical issues. Ethical issues, why it is so important. Then we come to the history of this one, what is the status of the research in nowadays. We are also aware with the concept that nowadays India is lacking in the research due to the certain reasons. If we recall any research that has been changed the law, certainly the answer will come, only few research will come into the point that was the worthwhile, and a lot of India also give input or take input from the research that this will be the need of the law in a society. Here we come that there are the several prosecution litigations has been lodged against the academicians for the malpractice during the conduction of research or completion of research. So it will be good for a faculty member as well as the legal luminaries to know the what are the ethical issues that involve while conducting the research. If we say what do you mean by the ethics? Ethics is always connected with the principle that we must incorporate. Amar Sen in his book that economics with the ethics will be beneficial for the society, but without ethics, any task cannot be get completed. Here we find that ethical points, ethics, moral law. Certain people think ethics means to divide between the what is right and what is wrong. But ethics is something different from right and wrong because the whole globe is not connected with the only one point of view, because it says that one thing is ethical for the one person and one other thing is not ethical for the other one. Suppose we say what is the status of abortion. Abortion's principles and policy based in India is differ from the other countries too. Roe versus Wade is a famous case on the abortion, and that has been a time span it has been annulled by the courts. Similarly, we can talk about the adultery as a criminal offense. But later on, court find that it is not come into the grip of the law and declared it as a unconstitutional. So, what is the research ethics consider remain relative to the context. In consequence, there are ethical norms to be followed at home, at a school, at work, or society, in places of worship, or for the matter public space. For analyzing these ethics differ. So, if we talk about the two terms, converting the two terms, research and ethics, research ethics refer to a complex set of values, standards, and institutional schemes that help constitute and regulate scientific activity. Quote NESH offset. While the subject of ethics is complex and has in fact generated volumes of the discussion at the core, ethics rests on the human and human considerations. When we talk about what are the morals that has to be incorporated, while then here we quote the American Sociological Association published its first modern code of ethics in 1989 and focused on the three general areas. First, full disclosure of the motives. What is the purpose? Motive means what is real intent, not intent. Intention and motive is a different part. Motive is not punishable in law, but intention, uh, by the way of motive, we can infer the intention. That is full disclosure of motivation for the research. This addresses the fear among the social scientists that they may be used to extract information from the general public by agencies of the social control, that government, public, and police. Code exhorted the sociologists to disclose agency not to misuse their position as a researcher to gather unnecessary data. Evidence of harm. American Sociologist Association said the evidence of harm is a necessary part for the ethical code. And the third is the assurance of the adequate qualification for conducting the research. In this way, we find that ethics has been very much distorted. So, by this way, University Grant Commission, by its committee, they have introduced certain papers in the pre-PhD coursework. In pre-PhD coursework, there are the 4 papers. According to universities, they can vary from its course, but research and publication ethics is the 1 paper. Research methodology, second. Literature review and ASRC, that is a part of the pre-PhD coursework. Prior to this one, introduction for the research and publication ethics is added. The purpose, if we go into the reports of the committees formed by the UGC, they have found that in India, most of the research are not found suitable for the new knowledge. They are the materials that has been used prior, means they have been taken from the in a ordering to enhancing the knowledge, but that is a research, because we should not confine the research work only that it gives certain results, because we have to not stick on the point research means something new must come into the mind, some creativity, some novelty, and some new understanding are prepositions also come, that is also come into the part of the research. So we can say UGC has well framed a syllabus for the research and publication ethics, and to the main purpose of research is creating and disseminating knowledge in the world by virtue of its importance in the development of the humankind. The conduct and behavior of researcher is bound by the set of written or unwritten. Written rules means we have a certain rules. As UGC has made a regard to the that is known as the Grant Commission promotion of academic integrity and prevention of plagiarism in higher educational institutions. Regulation And when I approached, he said that you go and write 5 topics on which you want to conduct research. Then I have given my topics, and after they give me a 30 days time for the literature review, what things you have come to know. Then I choose a topic. Then he said, be clear what is the purpose of this research. If researcher is clear in the beginning to what is the purpose of research, what are its benefit, who benefit, does it harm? If all these questions are clarified, then certainly that topic is relevant. Whom it is beneficial? Answer should be for the betterment. And if we say that if it is in the coherence with the, because we don't think that without new creativity or without literature review is a very much emphasized area. It is a literature survey. Literature review means it is a literature survey that narrows and refines the objects of the research. Because if anyone communicate the same thing, then certainly there will be the no growth. Literature survey narrows and refines the objects of the research and lead to the framing of the research questions. There is the huge blank of the literature. There are the huge bank of the literatures available to the researcher, more so than ever before in the era of globalization. Because when we click on the Google, we find numerous literature review or survey that we find that there is, suppose anyone is doing a research on the death penalty or any new AI, artificial intelligence, we will find that there are the certain things are available, and is to researcher is unable to find what to read and what not to read. Literature survey ensure that literature search is not influenced by the researcher's biases. Sometimes I have personally observed in the various committees that researcher is biased in the way that, especially in the case of, what I personally feel in the case of domestic violence, they have already faced the biasness that it is happening, so they put the literatures that have shown a certain degree of violence like this one. So if unbiasedness is the first part of the code of conduct of the researcher, means the literature he studies must be read by the line by line without putting their own considerations into ensuring and ensuring that bias, inwardness, deliberate, or these must be avoided. The researcher should determine if he or she has a tool of conduct to review. For instance, it is a historical study. Such need ensure the researcher is able to scan a wide range of the literature. For instance, a study of the IT world will review literature on the topic in India, but should also include literature in other countries. Because when we do a comparative study, suppose there is a case that we are not solving in India, so certainly we look how other countries are solving this problem. So this is important for the researcher to take the comparative study. So we have included the next part in the our research that it introduced the comparative study for the other country. Most research studies today yielding more material than required to the researcher tendency to the own. This is to select good spread of the material is the requirement. means the quality of the material is a essential part for the conducting research. Why it's so? Because when we read for the law students, law, I am still a student, law student, certainly we read the original judgments of the courts, ILI, Indian Law Institute, Delhi have annual survey of India and journals, Scopus Index journals are those are in the UGC list have impact, so we can quote in our research too. So quality literature is the foremost for conducting the research. Second is to come when the framing of the research questions. Framing of the research question is an important step in the planning research. The research questions feed into the descriptions of the project defines. It defines objective, ensure that there is a no distortion in elaboration of this relationship. Means the research question are hypothesis. If we talk how hypothesis is framed, then in research methodology, as we know, if that research hypothesis, hypo means small, thesis means conclusion. But this small conclusion, how we come? We come through by observation or by literature survey, by showing the country graph, our personal experience. By this way, we come to the point that it must be a certain one. And in a hypothesis, we can also limit our periphery. As earlier I say, that if title must not be judged according to the own way, it may be a big thing what we can do, but hypothesis also limits the boundary because then we have to discuss design, methodology and tools. Doctrinal research in the visit to the library and do the lab work or we read the books, doctrinal and empirical. Empirical or non-doctrinal in which we go for the survey. Survey and empirical survey is the two different concepts. Survey means it can be any type. If I will be talking about the send a Google form in which other people say what is the questions and we fill. Empirical survey means it is a that is a purified form in which we find that it is also helpful. So current trend is this one that people doing the doctrinal research sometimes it will be better for the betterment of the research that we put some empirical part in our research work. UGC Grant Commission has introduced the paper Research and Publication Ethics for the sake of curbing the main problem that is related to the copying. Copying means that is related with the task. We come to the point. Copying is unethical practice as poisonous weed in the field of research, which need to be rooted out in order that the fresh and original research do not suffer. The hour has come when we must clear this poison arid from the air. We must remold our standards, build their higher, and clear the air as though by cleansing free weed out damning traitor to the education. It means we can say plagiarism is a big issue. Plagiarism is a big issue in research work. For and I quote, UGC has made the regulation promotion of academic integrity in 2018. Every supervisor or researcher must have gone through this type of regulations because they are well, it and research level by the student or the faculty or a researcher or a staff in the form of thesis, dissertation and publication of research paper, chapters in book, full-fledged books and then nominal definitions have been also given that 2L plagiarism. Plagiarism means, according to this regulation, practice of taking someone's else work or idea and passing them as one's own. Means practice of taking someone else's work or idea and passing them as one own. 2L, especially it makes plagiarism. The source objective regulation itself says the objective is to create awareness about the responsible conduct of the research, thesis, dissertation, promotion of academic integrity, and prevention of misconduct, including plagiarism in academic writing among students, faculty, researcher, and staff. Other objective is to establish institutional mechanism through education and training to facilitate responsible conduct of research, thesis, dissertation, promotion. Third objective is to develop system to detect plagiarism and to set up mechanism to prevent plagiarism and punish a student, faculty, researcher, or staff of HEI higher education institution committing the act of plagiarism. It means this regulation is a clearly saw certain things. Three objectives are here, but the last objective is a very important one that says the plagiarism must be a some penalty. It means and duty of HEI is every HI should establish the mechanism as a prescribed in these regulations to enhance awareness about the responsible conduct of research and academic activities to promote academic integrity and prevent plagiarism. If plagiarism is a big issue, then what is the role of or what is the idea of this regulation regarding this? 6, clause 6, curbing plagiarism. It means that impose a certain duties. HEI shall declare and implement the technology-based mechanism using appropriate software. Using appropriate software means detection of plagiarism. By which way? In SRMU, it is Urkund. Urkund is available to each supervisor to ensure that documents such as thesis, dissertation, publication, or any other document are free of plagiarism at the time of their submission. The mechanism has engaged the research work documented and prepared by him Clause 7 of this regulation itself talks that similarity checker all quoted work reproduced with the all necessary permission and or attribution. Suppose Mr. X has written a certain part. Mr. P.N. Bhagwati, Justice P.R. Krishna Iyer, who said any quote. If we take all that one and we take necessary permission or attribution means with the citation that I have taken this part from this judgment. Certainly, it will be can exclusion. It can be excluded from that one. All references, bibliography, table of content, reference and acknowledgements. These are also exclusion from the plagiarism. All generic terms, law, standards, symbols, standards, equations, these are also exclusion from the plagiarism. Now we come to the level of plagiarism. Plagiarism would be quantified into the following level in order to figure for the purpose of its definition. There is a criteria for the 0 to 3 level. Level 0, similarity up to 10%. That plagiarized are material quality. If similarity index according to the regulation and level 1, level 2. Level 1, similarity above to 10 to 40. Level 2, similarity above to 40 to 60. Level 3, above similarity up to 10% is only permissible because and other institutions have also a same rule because university is an autonomous body and it has its own law-making authority. So, a strict guideline of the UGC regulation and get the philosophy of the UGC has introduced the paper to get into the content of the UGC defined, but able to be vigilant about the publication too. Research conduction is relationship because there is a one supervisor, research scholar, and the university. Like that itself says institution in which institution, suppose I have conducted a research in Banaras Hindu University, then it is not a whole work is mine. When any person come to me and ask, I want to publish my book, then I suggest you get no permission letter from your institution in which your work has been published. So there is a one type of relationship among all of these, that is the academic work is belong to all of three. But philosophy here come into the matter, what is the root cause for the plagiarism, what is the rules for the fabrication, falsification that is conducted in the research work. The root cause of this one may be the different persons analysis we find. If the root cause of this research work is paucity of the time, not giving adequate time, sufficient time for the research, and not doing the literature survey or the research work. So, in such situations, as a faculty member, we have to incite our research scholars that you need to कर खुदी को बुलंद इतना हर तकदीर को लिखने से पहले खुदा बंदे से पूछे बता तेरी रजा क्या है. It means there is some new things itself involved in the researcher itself, and researcher should go into the part that only what he is observing is not the real phenomena, but dreaming what he is thinking, what's new thing that is naturally embedded in that research scholar should also come into the point by the precision and accuracy while conducting the research. If we go for the one time and we take the survey. Suppose I visit to a home and I say to the person that what is the reason for the domestic violence in your house. If I already talked a lot of things that I am suffering from such thing a lot, certainly their answer will be the change. So just researcher should be in a such a manner that he get the true answer, because truth will only cure the problem. सांच को आँच क्या, like this one. Truth will cure the all problems in this way. But intensive study, quality material, moral philosophy, and moral judgments must be taken while conducting research. And intellectual honesty, that is very much abrogated by the way of plagiarism. So, in that manner, sometimes in science research, law, or other stream, we find that people are very much using the falsification, fabrication. False. False means that is wrong. Fabrication is that is forged, innovative. Sometimes in science, if there is a rules and about the what is written, numerical method in which we have taken 350 participants and we only 100 participants. This certainly we make the documents. That is also a misconduct. If insight of the researcher and guide of guidance of supervisor is just like Lord Krishna and Arjun. Means every researcher like Lord Krishna that he will direct, but philosophy is certainly detailed by the supervisor. But I have shown in the few cases that if there is a miscommunication among the only one remedy that researchers should get more intensive study to know the true motive of the supervisor, that it, while people think that research is a gift of the supervisor, but it's not so, because supervisor have its own accountability. He is also part of the research work. So avoid all of these things, and above all, when we come into the part of the publication, there is some lacunas that is occurred in the publication. Publication means where you want to wish to publish. There are the clone journal, they are taking a heavy charge. And when finally you come to the point that this is a clone journal and your article have no value because institutions has certain institutions has imposed because it's a guideline of the UGC and universities that apart from the research work, researcher have to publish 2 or 3 articles according to the framed by the university is required. So in such a case, they have to very much aware of clone journals. Clone journals are those journals, they are the not a real one, but they have been cloned. And for the safeguards that are used to tracking the clone journal is this one that in every journal there must be the ISSN number. If there is a book, then ISBN number. If we want to know if this is a clone journal or not, we have to go for the online clearing the all those things, who is the editor, who is the chief editor, who is the publisher, and while clicking all these things we come that if editor is the only name is written Dr. Prakash Chand Mishra, Mr. Manish Pratap Singh, Ms. Anpurna Trivedi, all are, but there is no designations, means what they are. Suppose all these things are there, then certainly it gives a doubt. So there is a need for the complete address while you are going for the publications. By these habits, there is a contact number. Certainly we have to contact before publication. Otherwise, one person may be caught into the purview of the not a good research work, but it will be the fake one. And similarly, there is other issues relating to the research ethics that come into the part of submission. There is a FRDC, SRAC. In these, there are the various members are available. Sometimes we faculty member thinks that research work is the only sole domain of the supervisor, but it's not so. In philosophical point of view, research work is the work of all those who are connected with the research conduction. They have to give full opinion. It may be accepted or not accepted. Aloof from this one, we should put our points on the forum while being the FRDC member, SRAC member, or as a chairman of the research pre-thesis research work like this one, in which we find here is other things for the advancement in the global world. We have to create a Google Scholar link in which we can calculate our indexing. What is the relevancy of what is the position of a research work that is cited by the world. In this way, we have to clear about the concept relating to the impact factor, site score, Scopus, Elsevier. These are the database. They have the good research publications, and we must strive for the best quality research that has bring prosperity and goodness in the world. If there is a violation in the publication ethics, authorship contributions, complaints, appeal, all of these things are best practices are itself codified the department are university level that has been so being a faculty member or the researcher. This is uh, the skills want to follow from our point of view. Research scholar and supervisor. Then there is a famous quote. George Eliot said, more helpful than all wisdom or counsel is one draught of simple human pity that will normal, subtle, throw some light on the super research scholar will solve all such problems because on the purpose of education to enlighten someone that saw the path by this way, by this way. Manish sir,
Session was too fulfilling. Thank you so much, sir. I hope everyone here is satisfied with today's session. You can ask any query if you have, or and our speaker sir will definitely try to answer those questions and queries. You may drop your questions in the chat box also. Any question? Okay, let's wind up our session. Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with your knowledge and presence.
Thank
Thank you to all the participants present here. Have a nice day.
Anpurna
Yes,
ma'am,
sir.
I hope Mr. Anil want a question. I hope I
Okay.
again
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
announce.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. It's part of the Anil sir that any question was, but now it's mute. Okay, carry on.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with your knowledge and presence. Thank you to all the participants. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much.